Matisse, thank you so much for being with us today, for speaking with our young dancers in the BBASI community.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor. I love the BBASI family, and it's been just such a journey with the BBASI, and so thank you so much again.
I wanted to prepare something, a surprise for you, actually.
Oh my God.
From 2015.
I think I'm gonna cry. Oh my God. Oh. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I really just got emotional. I'm gonna call my mom and start crying.
What led you to pursue ballet at such a young age, and when did you sort of realize that you wanted to be a professional ballerina?
I started ballet like any young American girl, I would say, 6, 7 years old at the Mommy and Me classes. And then I started my training at the Murat Tokayev School of Ballet in Los Angeles, California, which is a very successful, well-known Russian ballet school in Los Angeles. And I didn't know anything about ballet, really. My parents too. My mom just said, go get a sweat, twice a week. Yeah, so it started off like that, and I just loved performing at a young age. I was more into like theater, Broadway, and then I think at about when I was 9, I started competing for YGP, and that really opened my eyes completely. I saw that this can be a career. It's not just a hobby ballet. This is legit. And so yeah, I told my mom I want to compete. I want to compete every year. I want to perform. I want to do this. And I really started pushing myself, and I was taking classes every day and at home by myself too. At 10 years old, I was already in my own room training and working on everything, putting on YouTube videos of Natalia Osipova, Polina Semyonova, all the Russian ballerinas, and studying how they worked. And ever since then, that was it. Ballet was my life.
Would you mind, talking about how the Russian style has influenced your career path, your training path, and how it might be different from any other training that you've received or experienced?
Of course, yeah. Well, for me, I was lucky because I started off right at a Russian training school. So I never really got to experience the Balanchine classes or the really fast Petit Allegro, the flex frappes. I didn't really know that until later on, like when I was 15, and I would take different classes and stuff. But so my technique from a young age was already the Vaganova style, very Russian technique, and that just clicked with my body. I think it's different for everyone. Of course, it's very individual, but I fell in love with the Russian style, the Russian ballet, the Russian classical ballets and everything. And my teacher Murat said too that he said that Russian technique was for me. I shouldn't try any other techniques. And then that's why I chose to go to BBASI as well, because it's the best. That's my opinion, of course. That Russian ballet, it just makes sense, and I was so in love with the culture and the people and the Russian ballerinas, and I fell in love with the technique. And now to this day, I consider myself full-on Russian technique. I can't. That's it, Russian technique.
So would you mind sharing, your experiences at BBASI, how you thought any of those perceptions were true or not true?
Of course, yes. Well, I started when I was 13 years old. I went to BBASI in Connecticut. And that was my first summer intensive. That was my first thing adventure away from home. It was my first summer intensive. And I was only there 3 weeks, and I was privileged enough to take classes with Natalia Revich. And yes, so when I was 13, and I was super young, but I already knew right away that, okay, this is it. I want to go to Russia. I want to be absorbed in the Russian culture, Russian ballet, that was it. And it was weird because she would speak to me in Russian. I didn't know a word in Russian, but I understood her. Mm-hmm. And when I would speak sometimes in English, she would understand me. It was kind of like ballet was our universal language way of communicating. And so I loved the strictness. I love it's not scary or anything. It's very comforting. And once you get to know the Russian people, it's really, they call it like Ruskaya dusha. It's from the Russian soul, and they're very loving people. So that was my first great memory, was working with her. And then when I was 15, I came back in New York, and I trained with also Elena Bobrova, Vera Kulikova, Ryzhakov, who is like a father to me to this day. We are always seeing each other in Moscow, and he became my pas de deux teacher in Moscow in the academy. So I've created such a relationship with all of the teachers that they knew me when I was 13, and now I'm 21 here. So it's more like a family to me now. I really am so grateful for that. And I think those are the best memories, that I had such amazing teachers.
Along with the teachers, we bring Russian students, some male students and some female students from the academy. So would you mind talking about, working with Russian students, even in partnering class? I know that's a large aspect of our older program for the 15 and up year old.
Well, I would say it was so much fun. Like I think we all had so much fun, and we got to partner with the Russian boys who were trained, at the academy since they were 10, and they were so fun too, and so nice, and they tried to speak in English, and it was really funny. I remember that. And then the second year, I already knew, no, that was my third year. So my third time in New York, second time in New York, I was already in the academy for half a year. So I knew all the boys that were coming because we were in the same class. And so that was so much fun because we all got to go together to the Brighton Beach and all the different beaches, and go to like the Russian supermarkets and show them New York basically. And it was really fun. And I am together with my boyfriend of 4 years to this day from the summer intensive.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. That's amazing.
Yeah. So we started dating in the summer intensive, I think my last year. And we're still together to this day. He's at the Bolshoi Ballet now. He's dancing professionally.
The BASI program is your first introduction to Russian language, or really any other foreign language?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I'll look back in my photos from 2013 when I was 13, and I was singing the Russian alphabet. I was singing the Kak dela, like all the Russian songs, and it's just so funny how I didn't know a word, and now, thank God, I've been here already 4 years, but now I can speak fluently, and it's just so funny to me how I came here not knowing a word. And how fast I was immersed in the culture, the language. Once you're living in this country, and even at BASI, I learned so much just from the summer intensive programs. I learned so much Russian.
Russian is sort of this very common language spoken in ballet, but ballet itself is also a universal language, as you said, which we love because it sort of breaks those borders. So, being the first American soloist at the Russian State Ballet Theater, how have you, found that ballet has been a universal language, either when you're on tour or even as an American in a Russian theater?
Really, when I came to the theater was when I really got absorbed with the language and really learned well. So the beginning, it was difficult, of course, because I didn't understand some rehearsal schedules, and I didn't know where to go, where my dressing room was, but the girls were so lovely. And everyone has this stereotype that, Russians can be so mean and this and that, but oh no, the girls here were so nice. They helped me so much. They did not treat me like a foreigner or what is this American doing? They were so welcoming. And I've made such good relationships with the girls from the theater, and I'm really lucky for that. And yeah, when we go on tours, it's kind of, I'm like called the переводчик, the translator, when we go on tours like to Germany or Switzerland, around Europe. And yeah, it's nice. I help them with English. They help me more with my Russian. And it's just been really great with all that.
What was it like training at the academy, both sort of on that scholarship and in the year-round program. And, you know, what was it like living in Moscow as a student?
Yeah, it obviously changed my life completely. I'm here today because of the academy. I'm living here. I have a job because of the academy, because of summer intensive BASI. So yeah, I first came after the 2015 summer intensive in New York. I won the scholarship, which was super, super amazing. And I came to Moscow. I was only going to come for 2 weeks. And then I was placed in a Russian class. So that was also, I was really grateful for that opportunity to be right away seeing, you know, the Russian dancers that have been at the academy since they were 10 years old. And so that was really great. And my teacher, Irina Pyakina, offered me a spot in her class, which is really, you know, we have the Russian class and the international class. And for me, it was an honor to be even asked. And I begged my parents, I was like, please, can I stay full year? I feel it, this is right. So I ended up staying full time as a student from second course to third course. So I was there overall a year and a half.
Now that, you know, we're in the pandemic, so what might be your day-to-day life now? How do you keep up your training? I know that you are in the theater still, but, you know, any advice for our young dancers?
I mean, my advice is that you guys are also strong, because I understand how hard it is to keep going, to keep the motivation. We were off from March until about mid-June, July, and that was already harsh. Yeah, so that was, I mean, without a studio. Also, we had Zoom. I was doing my Zoom classes here with our theater every day. And we're in an apartment, so you can't put on pointe shoes. You can't really jump, even though I did. And, but I mean, it's just incredibly hard to get the motivation. And of course, I always had those days saying, all right, I'm going to quit ballet. I can't do this. I need a studio. I need an audience. I need to perform. But you really have to stay positive, stay strong, and know that everyone all over the world is going through this. It's not just you. Everyone's going through it. So at least we're going through it together. I mean, the ballet community, I think, has gotten so strong after this pandemic. I mean, on YouTube, through Zoom, through everything. And I'm really impressed with the ballet community. So молодцы.
Could you know, share some of your experiences being at a competition like YGP and, you know, later in your career when you're doing it internationally?
Yes, of course. I started YGP at 10 years old. So I was super young, and I look at old videos and I watch and I said, oh my God, I was so crazy. Why did I compete that young? But I don't regret anything, because that competition when I was 10 years old opened my eyes, and I really saw, I went to New York for the finals, and I saw dancers from all over the world, and just how strong they were, and it really pushed me, motivated me. So I think YGP and any competition is so great for stage experience, to see other dancers from around the world. Now we have like Instagram and social media, so you can really see. But when I was 10, it was more about like just going to competitions and really seeing for yourself. And that really helped me and pushed me throughout the years. And I really do recommend it, because it not only prepares you for variations and you can learn different ballets. I mean, it was just such a great experience, stage-wise, meeting new people, opening your eyes to the ballet world.
You are the first American soloist at the Russian State Ballet Theater. What was it like, you know, sort of from starting as a core member and then coming into such a prestigious role as the first American?
At the end of my third course exams, the GOS exams, the state exams that we had on stage, a lot of directors from different theaters came to watch, and Vyacheslav Gordeev, our artistic director, chose me to come and audition. So I came and auditioned, and then only afterwards he knew that I was American. And so he said, oh, it's going to be a lot of document problems, visa problems. But I was so grateful for that opportunity. And it's a beautiful theater, and it's, you know, right, it's like 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from the center of Moscow. It's so convenient, and we always have a packed audience. For me, it was so amazing to be accepted in a theater, especially in Moscow, because I wanted to stay in Moscow. I fell in love with the city. And so, yeah, he took me when I was 17. So I started when I was 18. The first core year, right away I was already starting to dance like little duets or duos and trios or like little smaller parts like Koshechka, the cat from Sleeping Beauty. That was like my first little debut role. But I really feel strongly about this, that every dancer has to go through core. You have to start from, not from the bottom, but from the, the roots. The core is, once you learn the core, then you can start to build your repertoire afterwards. Like core is so hard. I had such a difficult time standing in core. Swan Lake, everything, Giselle. It's so hard to stand in a line. That's what I really learned. And, but yes, and then I started, I think from my second year, they gave me more opportunities, and Gordeev wanted to take me onto a competition. So I really had to prove myself, of course, because I was American, and I had to show that I was able to do everything, that I really wanted it. And then this year I was super lucky. I premiered in Mirtha from Giselle, and that was my dream role since I was 10 years old, I think, because Giselle, the music is just so beautiful. And so after that, Gordeev said that I should prepare the role of Kitri for Don Quixote maybe in this following season in January. So I've been rehearsing Kitri right now, and it's for me, it's a dream. It's like everything I've worked for.
So you would say that that might have been your favorite role to dance, right? Mirtha, yeah.
It was definitely the most challenging role I've ever danced in my life. But yeah, I fell in love with that role. Yeah.
So on the flip side, what is your favorite ballet to watch as an audience member?
I really love, I would say, Don Quixote, because the music is just so thrilling and everyone's having a good time, the audience. And I know that the dancers on stage are having a good time. I love performing Don Quixote, whether it's core and you're just tamborining around, or whether I'm dancing like the street dance or ulichная or any part. It's just so much fun, and the music and the energy, and it's the Spanish style, and it's so much fun to watch. I know that's a crowd pleaser.
Mm-hmm. Who is your idol or one of your favorite dancers right now?
The first ballerina I watched when I was 10 years old on YouTube, and I was just taken away by, was Natalia Osipova. She was my first, I think, ballerina I ever watched. And I remember watching her Kitri, Don Quixote, and her jumps, and I said, whoa, am I supposed to jump like that? Am I supposed to turn fouettes like that? Like, I can't do that. And she basically motivated me. I remember my dad would come in like after dinner and he'd say, go do your homework. I'm like, watching YouTube, learning everything she's doing. I'd stay up till like midnight when I was 11 years old, just watching her. And I think I liked her so much because I feel like we kind of have a similarity with the character. There's some, like, I think Svetlana Zakharova, of course, is a beautiful Odette Odile Swan Lake, and there's different ballerinas for different roles. And I studied actually Maria Alexandrova for Mirtha and Giselle. But Natalia Osipova, she was, for me, like a Kitri. She was the Kitri. I really loved it. And now I love Ekaterina Krisanova from Bolshoi Theater, Anya Shcherbakova from our theater, and I look up to so many different ballerinas. I think the last few weeks I've been really into watching older ballets like Maya Plitsetskaya, Maximova, Makharova, because I know they had their anniversaries a few days ago. So I love watching the older ballets too.
Is there any company now that you would love to guest with, or any dancer in particular who you'd love to partner with or do a project with?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just so happy to be here and rehearsing in a studio and being able to perform on our stage. Of course, my goal is right now I'm rehearsing Kitri. Of course, that would be my goal, to dance Kitri and Don Quixote. That would be a dream. And then I think, I'm open to anything. I'd love to go back to the States and maybe guest there, go to Europe. And we tour very often. So we've toured all over Europe, Germany, Switzerland, Scotland. And so I'm so privileged to have been able to get to see all those beautiful cities. And I also love different companies in St. Petersburg too. St. Petersburg and Moscow, like Mikhailovsky, Stanislavsky. I think it'd be interesting if I did a duo partner thing with my boyfriend Vitalik from Bolshoi. It would be our two theaters. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, I mean, I'm open to anything, and any stage experience is a privilege, is an honor for me.
A lot of young dancers would want to know is, what is your day-to-day life like?
Every morning I get up around 8:30 because we have a company class at 11. But I'm, as Vitalik says, I'm crazy. I'm the first one at the theater probably. I'm already in the studio by 10. I have to and stretch. And by the time I take the metro, it's already like an hour. So I like to get there early. Then we have company class for like an hour and a half till 12:30. And then we start rehearsals for whatever shows we have coming up. Usually we take actually core pieces right away because it's with everyone. So our core numbers are all first. And then usually starts the solo rehearsals, like from around 3. Today I had solo rehearsals from 3 to 6. And we don't have a show tonight, so it's kind of nice. But we have shows tomorrow and Sunday, so we can come to the theater a little later. We have later class. And it depends on what kind of shows, repertoire we have going on at the theater. And then when we go on tour, when we have our Germany, Switzerland tour, usually this year, of course, it's not happening, but usually when it happened around December, January, every day we travel to a new city, a new theater. Wow. So we'd have to wake up early, get on a really nice bus. It was really great. They had a very comfortable bus and we could lay and have food and drink and everything. And we went to a different city, traveled to a different city, new theater, new hotel every day. And but the most difficult part was getting used to the stage, different stage every day.
I just wanted to ask if you could share any last words of advice, inspirational, anything for our young dancers or young community.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you again so much for including me. And I really do feel a part of the BBASI family. I really think that they're the reason I'm here today. I fell in love with the Russian ballet while I was at the BBASI Summer Intensives from 13 years old at Connecticut to 15, 16 in New York, and from living here in Moscow since I was 16. So big shout out to BBASI and everyone who works there, and the staff and the family and all the teachers. For me, it's just it's crazy to believe that I was so afraid of the teachers from Moscow, and now they're to me considered like family, and I call them once a week to catch up and everything. And so it's just such a great bond we've created. And for anybody who's interested in the BBASI Summer Intensive programs, it's really a life-changing experience. And those are the best, I think for sure, best memories, best summers I've ever had. And I'm just so grateful for all that love and experience I shared with everybody. And yeah, so grateful.